Get ready for a deep dive into the world of paranormal investigation. Because today, we're exploring the work of Juan Pablo Pantoja, the guy behind the YouTube series Relatos de Ultratumba.
Oh, his stuff is amazing.
Yeah, we've got this incredible interview with him that we're using as source material, and
It's packed with firsthand experiences and,
details, too.
oh yeah, enough to keep you on the edge of your seat.
For sure, and it's really cool to hear from someone who's been investigating the unexplained for so long.
Juan Pablo is not just telling ghost stories. He's looking at the evidence, different perspectives.
Yeah.
He even digs into the potential science behind these events.
Yeah, exactly. And we're going to cover it all, from a viral ghost sighting that really put him on the map to his investigation of the Cryptus Satanicas.
Oh yeah, those bizarre structures outside Obregon.
Right. Like, what's going on there?
Used for rituals.
Crazy. And then we'll even get into his encounters with powerful shamans.
Oh, and the stuff about ancient wisdom and reality itself.
I know, it's a lot to unpack.
It is.
But it's so fascinating.
It is.
So where do you think we should start?
Well, his journey from radio to TV is pretty interesting.
Oh, tell me more about that.
So he had this show called Relatos de Ultratumba,
Okay.
where people called in and shared their paranormal experiences.
Classic, like those late-night radio shows.
Exactly.
Cirky stories, people calling in.
But he wanted more,
He didn't want just the stories.
Yeah, he wanted to actually experience it firsthand.
Who wouldn't?
That's what led him to become a paranormal investigator.
Wow, so he was like, I'm done with just hearing about it. I'm going to see it for myself.
Exactly.
That's pretty brave, I have to admit.
It is, especially when you consider some of the stuff he's encountered.
Yeah, like that famous ghost hand incident.
Oh yeah, that footage was wild.
It went viral.
Everyone was talking about it.
It really shows the power of video evidence.
It does, but it also shows the limits of technology in capturing these phenomena.
Right, like what can cameras really capture?
Exactly.
So remind me about the details of the ghost hand incident.
Sure. So Juan Pablo and his team were investigating this supposedly haunted house.
Okay.
Things were pretty quiet. They were about to wrap up.
Makes sense. Sounds a bit boring.
Yeah. But as they were leaving, Juan Pablo's friend, Jose,
Okay.
who was with him, suddenly freaked out. Said he saw shadowy figures, child ghost, the whole 9 yards.
Oh, wow. That's creepy.
It is. But here's the thing. Juan Pablo himself didn't see or feel anything unusual at that moment.
Really? So it was just Jose?
Yeah, but then later, while they're driving back, Jose starts filming again.
Just in case.
Exactly.
What?
And they stop the car, and everyone in the back seat starts yelling, terrified.
Oh, no. What happened?
They said a ghostly figure tried to grab Jose.
No way.
And when they review the footage,
This is the part I remember.
at first it was just darkness.
Yeah.
But after enhancing the brightness and contrast, this hazy silhouette appears, forms into a hand reaching towards the car.
It's a chilling image, I have to say.
It is.
It really makes you wonder about what cameras are actually capturing.
Right, like are they picking up on something that we can't see with our own eyes, or is it something else entirely?
That's the question, isn't it?
Juan Pablo grapples with this a lot in his work.
I can imagine.
He's actually skeptical of some paranormal investigation tools,
Like what?
especially spirit boxes.
Oh, those things where you supposedly hear voices?
Yeah, he thinks they just produce random sounds, not actual communication.
So he's not buying it.
Not really.
Interesting. So what does he think about cameras then?
Well, he believes they can capture glimpses of these phenomena, but he's careful about interpreting the evidence.
That's a good point. We have to be critical thinkers, right?
Absolutely. Not all evidence is created equal,
And we have to consider alternative explanations.
especially when dealing with sensitive topics.
Oh, yeah, like his investigation into the Cryptus Satanicas.
Right, those structures outside Obregon, shrouded in mystery and local lore.
What makes them so mysterious?
Well, there are all these rumors about satanic rituals, drug use, even child trafficking.
Whoa, that's intense.
It was a dangerous investigation for Juan Pablo.
I bet. That's serious stuff.
He actually received threats for exposing what he found.
Seriously. That's scary.
Yeah, it highlights the risks involved in this line of work.
It's not just ghost hunting and spooky stories, is it?
No, it can get very real.
So what did he find at these cryptos?
Well, one of the most chilling accounts he uncovered was from a man who claimed to have infiltrated a sect that used those cryptos for their rituals.
Okay, tell me more about that.
This man's story is pretty disturbing. He was desperate to save his son who'd been drawn into the sect.
Oh, no.
He described bizarre rituals, drug-fueled ceremonies,
Sounds intense.
really dark stuff.
It's hard to even imagine.
Yeah, it's important to note that this is one person's account.
Right.
It's tough to verify every detail, but it raises questions.
Yeah, about the potential for exploitation within belief systems.
Definitely, it's a stark contrast to the romanticized view of the paranormal.
Totally. And this investigation brought Juan Pablo a lot of unwanted attention.
It did.
People were concerned about what was happening at those cryptas.
Rightfully so.
It's not easy to expose those kinds of things.
It takes courage.
Juan Pablo has that in spades.
He does.
He's committed to uncovering the truth, even when it's dangerous or unsettling.
Absolutely.
And this brings us to a different kind of investigation, one that dives into the world of cryptids.
Oh yeah, the mystery of the gargoyle.
I know, I love this one.
It's a classic.
So, for listeners who haven't heard of the gargoyle, can you describe it?
Imagine a creature with a human-like body,
Okay.
the head of an eagle, and massive wings.
That's terrifying.
It was sighted in various towns across Sonora, Mexico.
Okay.
At first, people thought it might be the Mothman,
Oh, yeah, I remember that case.
but the eyewitness accounts are pretty consistent.
Like what?
Well, we have a police officer who describes seeing this massive creature perched on a power line, spreading its wings and making a sound like a revving engine.
That's crazy.
And then there's this boxer who claims this thing swooped down on him while he was training outdoors, knocked him to the ground.
Oh, wow.
It's hard to dismiss those accounts as just tall tales.
Especially coming from a police officer.
Exactly.
What else is there?
Well, there's this really bizarre incident with mutilated roosters.
What?
Yeah, they were found with their organs removed, but there was no blood.
Hold on, no blood.
It's like something surgically extracted their insides.
That's really creepy.
It is. It suggests a level of precision that's hard to explain.
So, what does Juan Pablo make of this?
He connects the gargoyle to the yaqui concept of an agwal.
Okay, I'm not familiar with that.
Yaquis are an indigenous people native to Sonora,
Okay.
and their belief system is full of stories about shape-shifting entities with supernatural powers.
So the gargoyle could be one of these agawals.
That's what Juan Pablo theorizes.
It makes you realize that different cultures have different ways of explaining the unexplained, right?
Exactly. What might be a cryptid in one culture could be a well-established entity in another.
That's so interesting. So we have these eerie encounters with the gargoyle, but Juan Pablo doesn't stop there.
Great.
His investigations take a fascinating turn when he starts exploring shamanism.
This is where things get really interesting.
I know, so tell me about that shift in focus.
He goes from investigating these external phenomena like ghosts and cryptids to exploring human consciousness.
It's like he's going inward.
Exactly.
So what does he find in this exploration of shamanism?
Well, he's very skeptical of mediums who exploit people's vulnerabilities for profit.
That makes sense. There are a lot of those out there.
Yeah, so he's very discerning.
He's looking for authenticity.
Exactly. He's not after cheap thrills.
He wants genuine understanding.
And that search leads him to María Matus.
Who's that?
She was a legendary Yaqui healer.
Oh, wow. I've never heard of her.
She was known for powerful cleansings and cures.
Sounds like a powerful figure.
She was, almost mythical in her reputation.
I can see why.
And here's a fascinating connection.
What's that?
María Matus was connected to Carlos Castaneda.
The author.
Yes, the one who popularized shamanism in the West.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Castaneda actually mentions Maria in his writing.
Seriously, what did he say about her?
Well, he couldn't include her extensively because she refused to be recorded or documented.
Really?
Her power resided in experience, not in words.
That's amazing to think that a figure so powerful chose to remain largely hidden.
It speaks to a different approach to knowledge, right?
One that's passed down through experience rather than through books and recordings.
Exactly.
Like a secret tradition.
And while investigating María Matus,
Okay.
Juan Pablo encounters another powerful Yaqui healer,
Who's that?
Doña Petra.
Doña Petra. I've heard that name before.
And her methods are even more extraordinary.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What did she do?
Doña Petra claimed to diagnose and treat illnesses remotely.
Remotely. Like from a distance.
Yes, she even performed spiritual surgeries through mental connection.
Whoa, that's hard to even wrap my head around.
It is. But Juan Pablo witnessed these healings firsthand.
So he saw it with his own eyes.
He did, and he became obsessed with understanding how it was possible.
I mean, who wouldn't be?
It's this curiosity that drives his work.
It's like he's bridging the gap between ancient wisdom and modern understanding.
He doesn't just accept things at face value.
He wants to understand the mechanisms.
The energy, the science behind it all.
And that insatiable curiosity leads him down a scientific rabbit hole that connects ancient shamanic practices to Water research.
Water.
I know, it sounds strange, but trust me, this is where things get really interesting.
Okay, I'm all ears.
We'll delve into that in part 2 of our deep dive, where we explore the world of structured water and its potential for healing.
I can't wait.
Stay tuned!
Welcome back to our deep dive into the world of Juan Pablo Pantoja.
It's great to be back.
Last time we left off with his encounter with Doña Petra, the Yaqui healer.
Yeah, her abilities seem to defy explanation.
Like she was doing the impossible.
Right. Those remote healings and spiritual surgeries.
Mind-boggling.
I know, and it's sparked a whole new direction for his research.
Exploring the connection between ancient healing and modern science.
Exactly.
It's a fascinating path.
It is, and you know what's so cool about Juan Pablo?
What's that?
He doesn't just accept these abilities at face value.
He wants to understand the how.
Yeah, the mechanisms behind them.
He's looking for the scientific underpinnings of what most would consider supernatural.
And that leads him to the fascinating world of structured water.
Structured water?
I know, you're probably thinking, water? What's so special about water?
Yeah, it seems a bit basic.
But trust me, this is where things get really interesting.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
So Juan Pablo stumbles upon the work of Dr. Gerald Pollack.
Who's that?
He's a researcher at the University of Washington.
Okay.
And he made some groundbreaking discoveries about the properties of water.
Like what?
Well, Pollack discovered that water can exist in a state beyond solid, liquid, and gas.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Beyond the states we already know.
Yeah, he calls it easy water.
Easy water.
And it forms naturally near hydrophilic surfaces,
Okay, I'm following so far.
creating a structured gel-like layer, almost like water organizing itself into a more ordered and energized state.
So it's not just H2O anymore.
Exactly, and this easy water has some remarkable properties.
Like what?
Higher electrical conductivity, for one.
Okay.
And it can store and transmit energy.
Wow, that's pretty amazing.
Right. Some researchers even believe it has a form of memory.
Water with a memory.
It's wild stuff.
It is. So you're saying water isn't just this passive substance?
No, it's an active participant in all sorts of biological processes.
And Juan Pablo starts connecting the dots.
Usually.
He's thinking about healers, like Doña Petra,
Yeah.
and wondering if they're influencing the structure of water within the body to bring about healing.
It's a bold hypothesis, but it makes you think.
It does, especially when you consider the work of Dr. Masaru Emoto.
Oh, I've heard of him. He studied the impact of words and emotions on water crystals.
Right, exactly.
His experiment showed that positive intentions could create beautiful, symmetrical crystals.
And negative intentions produced distorted or chaotic formations.
It's like our thoughts and emotions have a physical impact on water.
And if that's true outside the body,
Could it also be true inside the body?
affecting our health and well-being.
It's a fascinating concept that ties into the ancient understanding of the mind-body connection.
So it's not just woo-woo stuff,
No, there might be a scientific basis for it.
which is what Juan Pablo is all about.
Bridging that gap between ancient wisdom and modern science.
And he doesn't just theorize about it.
He puts these ideas to the test.
How does he do that?
He starts incorporating structured water into experiments with his listeners,
What kind of experiments?
having them drink it and observing the effects.
And what were the results?
Pretty remarkable, actually.
Tell me more.
People reported increased energy, better sleep, even a reduction in pain.
Wow, so just by changing the structure of the water.
It's like he's tapping into a hidden potential within something as fundamental as water.
That's pretty amazing.
And remember how we talked about the power of letting go?
Yeah.
Well, Juan Pablo notices a similar pattern in these experiments.
What do you mean?
The people who get the best results are those who release the need to control the outcome.
So it's about surrendering to the process,
Exactly, approaching it with an open mind and trust.
letting the body's innate intelligence do its work.
And that concept of surrender plays a key role in another fascinating aspect of his research,
What's that?
the creation of his shamanic audio.
Shamanic audio.
It's like a sonic journey designed for deep relaxation and emotional release.
What's in it?
He blends ancient chants with binaural beats, the Schumann resonance, which is this naturally occurring electromagnetic frequency in the Earth's atmosphere.
Interesting.
And he even includes Doña Petra's voice in this multi-layered sonic tapestry.
Wow, so it's a real fusion of ancient and modern techniques.
Yeah, bridge between tradition and science.
And what do people experience when they listen to it?
They report profound shifts in their energy and well-being.
Like what?
A sense of deep peace, clarity, even physical healing.
It's like the audio helps them access a deeper state of awareness.
A state where healing becomes
Petra's voice adds another layer of intrigue,
It's like her presence carries an energetic charge.
even in recorded form.
Exactly.
It speaks to the power of sound and intention to influence our state of being,
And remember, we are vibrational beings.
constantly interacting with frequencies around us.
Right, and Juan Pablo takes this exploration even further
Yeah.
by experimenting with the language used in the chants.
Interesting. What does he discover?
He starts incorporating chants in Yaqui and other indigenous languages,
Yes.
and he finds that these ancient tongues seem to have a particularly powerful effect.
What do you think that is?
It's like these languages carry a vibrational resonance that connects us to a deeper level of our being.
Tapping into the wisdom and healing power of our ancestors.
Exactly, and this connection to ancestral wisdom leads us to one of the most powerful practices he introduces,
Okay, I'm ready for it.
the Toltec recapitulation.
Now that rings a bell, isn't that from Carlos Castaneda's teachings?
Yes. It's a technique for reclaiming energy that we've lost or left behind in past experiences,
Because it involves revisiting those experiences
both positive and negative.
and consciously breathing back the energy we've invested in them.
Exactly. It's not about dwelling on the past or getting stuck.
It's about acknowledging the impact of those experiences and releasing the energy we've trapped there.
Reclaiming our power.
Powerful stuff.
It is. And Juan Pablo encourages listeners to use his shamanic audio as a tool for deepening their awareness.
To access memories that might be holding them back.
Right. He guides them to identify moments in their lives where they felt a shift in their energy.
Loss of power, emotional wounds,
And he emphasizes approaching those memories with compassion.
curiosity, not judgment or shame.
It's about recognizing the patterns that have shaped our lives, reclaiming our lost power, and stepping more fully into the present moment.
This is where the connection between ancient wisdom and modern science gets really exciting.
I know, it all starts to come together.
Juan Pablo believes that the Toltec recapitulation, combined with practices like structured water and sound healing,
Can help us unlock our full energetic potential,
it's like he's creating a toolkit for personal transformation.
blending ancient practices with modern understanding.
And he doesn't shy away from exploring some really mind-blowing concepts.
Like what?
Quantum entanglement.
Okay, now we're going deep.
I know, right?
Quantum entanglement is that phenomenon where two particles, once entangled, remain connected no matter how far apart they are,
It's like they're communicating instantaneously
Yeah.
across vast distances,
defying our understanding of space and time.
bending the rules of reality.
Exactly. And Juan Pablo suggests that this might apply to consciousness as well.
You mean we're all connected on some deeper level?
That's what he's proposing.
Wow, that challenges our notion of individuality,
It does.
suggesting that our thoughts and emotions have a ripple effect that extends far beyond our immediate sphere.
It's a humbling perspective, but also awe-inspiring.
It is. It opens up a whole new realm of possibilities.
It really makes you rethink everything, doesn't it?
It does.
If we're all connected on this level, then the potential for healing and transformation is huge.
It's beyond what we might have imagined.
And that's what makes Juan Pablo's work so exciting,
He's pushing the boundaries of human experience.
inviting us to reconsider the fabric of reality itself,
We'll explore those empowering possibilities further in part 3 of our deep dive.
where we'll uncover his vision for a future where ancient wisdom and modern science converge.
To create a more harmonious and empowered world.
Stay tuned for the grand finale. Welcome back. It's the final part of our deep dive into the world of Juan Pablo Pantoja.
I'm excited to see where he takes us.
Me too. We've covered so much ground already, from ghostly encounters to structured water to shamanic healing. We even touched on quantum entanglement.
It's been quite the journey.
It has, and now I'm really curious to see how it all comes together.
Yeah, what does it all mean for us, for the future?
That's the big question, right?
It is.
And I think one of the most important things to remember about Juan Pablo's work is that he doesn't just present these concepts as theories.
He emphasizes their practical application in our life.
Right. He's constantly reminding us that we have a choice in how we perceive reality.
And how we interact with the world around us.
He often uses the analogy of a gardener tending to their plants.
Ooh, I like that analogy.
So the gardener can provide the optimal conditions for growth, sunlight, water, fertile soil.
Right, but ultimately, it's the plant's own life force that drives its growth.
Exactly. And in the same way, we can create the conditions for healing and transformation by exploring these practices.
Expanding our awareness.
But the real power lies within each of us.
It's not about some external force.
No, it's about recognizing that we're not just passive recipients of fate.
We're active participants in shaping our reality.
And that ties into one of the most crucial themes running through Juan Pablo's work:
What's that?
personal responsibility in the healing process.
He's big on that, isn't he?
Yeah, he makes it clear that while healers like Doña Petra can facilitate healing,
Ultimately, the power lies within us,
he's not downplaying the role of external support.
but he's urging us to step into our own power.
To become active agents in our own well-being.
And a big part of that is recognizing the impact of our emotions on our physical health.
Yeah, our emotional landscape affects our overall vitality.
He's got a great way of putting it.
What's that?
He says unresolved emotional trauma is like a weed in the garden of our being.
Oh, I like that.
It hinders our growth.
Prevents us from blossoming fully,
It's like carrying around invisible baggage.
weighing us down and draining our energy.
Exactly. And through practices like the Toltec recapitulation,
We can start to unpack that baggage, clear out those emotional weeds.
and create space for healing to occur.
It's a process of reclaiming our lost energy, untangling ourselves from the past, and stepping more fully into the present moment.
And this brings us back to the concept of quantum entanglement
That's right.
and its potential role in healing.
This is where things get really mind-blowing.
So if we're all interconnected on this deeper level like Juan Pablo suggests,
Then the potential for healing is vast.
beyond anything we can currently imagine,
Think about Doña Petra's ability to heal remotely,
could she be tapping into that web of interconnected consciousness?
accessing information and transmitting healing energy across vast distances,
It challenges everything we think we know about time and space.
and suggests a level of interconnectedness that we're only beginning to grasp.
It's a whole new frontier of understanding.
It makes you wonder about the untapped potential within us.
The possibilities that open up when we start working with these subtle energies.
And this brings us to one of the most powerful messages that Juan Pablo conveys:
His vision for the future.
a future where ancient wisdom and modern science converge.
To create a more harmonious and empowered world.
He sees a future where we move beyond the limitations of our current understanding
Where we embrace the mystery of the unknown.
and tap into our full potential as conscious creators.
It's a beautiful vision.
It is a future where healing isn't just about treating symptoms
It's about addressing the root causes.
within ourselves and within our collective consciousness,
It's about recognizing the interconnectedness of all things.
and working in harmony with the natural world.
Juan Pablo challenges us to become active participants in creating this future.
To experiment, to test these concepts out in our own lives and see what we discover.
He believes that we each have the power to unlock extraordinary abilities.
To heal ourselves and to contribute to a more compassionate and conscious world.
So what does this all mean for our listeners?
It's a call to action, an invitation to become explorers of your own inner landscape,
To challenge your assumptions about reality.
and to embrace the mystery of the unknown,
It's about recognizing a power within you.
and stepping into a greater sense of possibility and empowerment.
Remember, you are not separate from the universe.
We're an integral part of it.
A microcosm of the macrocosm.
And as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with this question.
What possibilities might be unlocked for you if you embrace this interconnectedness?
If you're ready to explore further, I highly recommend checking out Juan Pablo's work.
At La Sombra de la Mano.
Keep seeking, keep questioning, keep diving deep into the mysteries of the universe.
And the boundless potential within you.
Until next time, keep exploring.